After opening the free Tier 9 Dream Horse, or you got lucky training a Dream Horse yourself, now it's time to start working towards the Mythical Awakened T10 Aerodyne or the new Tier 10 Doom depending on when you see this. But where should you start? Welcome back to the channel that shows you how to fail at everything life skilling. My name is Teddy and today I'll be showing you how to start getting prepared for those T10 Mythical Dream Horse Awakening now that the free Dream Horse has been handed out during the event. Training horses for the dream attempts alone is a long, annoying process with needing the right gear, the right horse skills learned, and getting the materials needed for the attempts, but when it comes to the Mythical Tier 10, there's a lot more that goes into it. In order to even start trying to awaken dream horses into the Mythical Horses, you'll first need two of the same kind of dream horse, both have to be level 30, and lastly, one has to be male and the other has to be female. Fortunately, unlike training horses trying for a Corsair, the skills that the two Tier 9 horses learn doesn't matter. And don't worry if you don't have two dream horses already, you can buy any off of the horse market. But once you have two dream horses ready, now we can start looking at what's needed for the mythical taps and where to get everything. Much like with the dream horse attempts, trying for mythical horses require a lot of harder materials that can be time gated in some instances. This doesn't mean it's impossible to get the materials needed, it just means it will take longer than say doing a dream attempt. Luckily for us, for mythic horse taps, we won't be using the same training materials like the rainbow fruit or the blue conch shells, for example. For these taps, we will be using the Mythical Censer, however, to awaken the dream horses of your choice. But with not needing all the extra training items, cron stones, and Ogdillo's origin stones, we do need a whole handful of items just to make the one censer. Taking a look at the Mythical Censer, just to craft one will require 1 Old Moon Censer, 10 Mythical Feathers, 10 Mythical Powder, 10 Firehorn, and lastly, 10 Powder of Flame. Crafting the Old Moon Censer can be done using 100 pure copper crystal, 100 pure tin crystal, 100 pure platinum crystal, 100 moonlight opal, and finally the Old Moon Censer mold, which can be bought from any Old Moon Manager NPC for 20 mil. Alternately, the Old Moon Censer can also be made using 25 Melody of the Stars from heating Pry or higher blue grade accessories, and 300 magical lightstone crystals from exchanging any lightstones at Dalashan. With the Old Moon Censer ready, now we can start to focus on the other materials needed. The next item on the list to make the Mythical Censer is the Mythical Powder. But in order to craft this, you will need to grind down 10 Flower of Oblivion, 10 Royal Fern Root, 10 Everlasting Herb, 10 Fruit of Enchantment, and finally 10 Black Stone Powder. Getting the Royal Fern Root is extremely easy, but sadly is time gated by dailies. Liana in any major city has a weekly to capture one wild horse for 30 Royal Fern Root. Liana also has a daily, which the amount of roots earned is increased based on your training level. These two quests can also be accepted from Warpta here in Stonetail Horse Ranch, but keep in mind, if you accept Liana's weekly and daily and complete them, you cannot accept and complete Warpa's and vice versa. So you can't try and get extra feathers. Moving on to the Flower of Oblivion, these are easier to earn with being obtained through the Imperial Horse deliveries. Once a horse is level 15, we're able to sell the horse for flowers with Tier 6 giving 10 flowers, and Tier 8 rewarding 20. Only the horse tier affects how many flowers can be obtained, so don't worry about trying to find ways to increase how many flowers you can get unless Pearl Abyss changes that. Now, if those weren't bad enough, now we can move on to the Mythical Feathers. There are 6 different ways we can earn Mythical Feathers, with the majority of them being time gated like the other materials needed, but can be bought off the central market if you have the money and people are willing to sell some. Now, the first way Mythical Feathers can be obtained is by heading back over to Liana. She has a weekly for exchanging either 1 Krogdillo's Origin Stone for 1 Mythical Feather, or 600 to 800 Carat Confit depending on your training level for 1 Mythical Feather. After completing Liana's weekly or Warpa's weekly, we can head out to the Old Wisdom Tree and talk to the Stable Keep of Rel. He has a weekly quest requiring 1 Wings of Ascension to be crafted. Getting the materials are extremely simple, with needing 1000 lightweight plume or 250 fine lightweight plume, 500 thick fur or 125 fine thick fur, and lastly 5 Powder of Ascension. Like the feathers and the fur, the powder can be obtained while skidding, so keep gathering if you haven't found one yet. If your luck still isn't that great, 1 Powder of Ascension can be bought at the cost of 12 Imperial Horse Seals. Once the weeklies are done, there are a couple other ways to earn Mythical Feathers if you take the time out and have some good luck. While out gathering around Black Desert, we are able to gather Layla's petals, which when taken to the Kamasilv Temple can be exchanged for sealed fairy wings. Opening these wings and getting lucky, getting a brilliant fairy can be exchanged for 1 mythical feather, and radiants are worth 2 feathers when exchanging them to heroine here at the temple. Another way to find feathers is from gathering Lucario around Kama Sylvia, Dragon, Odalita, and the Mountain of Eternal Winter regions. There's only a small chance of the feather dropping from primitive, lush primitive, old, and lush old Lucario stacks, so it will take a while, but does offer a chance if you're lucky enough. For those horse trainers and breeders, there is a chance to get an Imperial steed when selling any level 15 horse or above to an Imperial horse delivery. For getting one of these steeds, we're also rewarded with the Noble Stature chest, which comes with 10 feathers, 100 Flower of Oblivion, and 100 Royal Fern Root just as an added bonus. Imperial steeds have a low chance to drop in Black Desert, but can be increased when breeding level 30 horses, so keep breeding and selling horses until you finally get one. The last way we're able to get a mythical feather is from hunting Rarar when he spawns. The drop rate is low, so don't expect to see one your first couple times, but there is a chance when he dies. Really fast, I'm not sure if you'll see this before the update or after, but for killing world bosses like Mirror Mock Destroyer and the Watcher off in Tet does have a chance of dropping one of the mythical feathers, and field bosses like Red Nose or Mustard, for example, has a chance of also dropping a feather. The whole list is here on the screen if you do need to see. Also, after the new update, the amount of mythical feathers that can be obtained from Liana and Warpa for their weekly and dailies will be increased from 1 to 2, and the daily from Viril has been increased from 1 to 2. The Royal Fern Root daily from Liana has also been increased from 30 to 50. This should reduce some of the bottleneck with the mythical feathers and Royal Fern Root, but let me know down in the comments below. Once all the materials are gathered and ready, the old moon censer can be made, then combined with the other materials to make the mythical censer. Now just making the censer won't do. After all is made and ready, now we have to head to the stables to start training like with any of the dream attempts. Choosing the Stone Tail Horse Ranch, with both horses in the stable, we can choose one and hit the new awakening option. In here, we'll require each dream horse of the same kind and opposite gender on each side, with the censer in the center. After putting in the name, you can simply hit the awakening button and start the process to see if you're lucky enough. This will consume both horses just to make the tier 10 mythical horse and the censer. If failing, both horses are placed back in the stable to try again, but the censer is consumed in the process. Keep in mind, before the update, there is only a 3% success rate. The mythic horse taps will now have failstacks, allowing for 0.2% to be stored on failing each tap. This failstack is family-wide and will count towards all mythic attempts, unlike the dream attempts. Not only is getting a dream horse difficult and can take many months of trying, like me, mythical dream horses are just as bad, if not worse, with all the materials needed and everything being time-gated. Even with getting a free dream horse during the event, getting a mythical is still hard, but I hope this helps you get started trying to prepare for your own tier 10 mythic dream horse attempts, or speeding up how quickly you can get those feathers. I've slowly been getting the materials together for myself, and I've been waiting for the new update before trying any of the new mythical dream horse attempts. Let me know down in the comments how many attempts you've made so far, or if you've been saving up all of your feathers waiting for the new update. While you're down there, be sure to leave a like if you've been enjoying all the life scaling content here on the channel, and while you're waiting for your dailies to reset, if you want to see how I have my workers set up in the Land of the Morning Light, or you're just curious about all the nodes out there, you can check out the video on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one.